Is the writing on the wall for Ukraine again? Zelensky went to the NATO summit, even though Ukraine is not a member of that organization, cap in hand, wanting even more money and arms to continue its conflict with Russia, even though certain NATO members have told him that enough is enough. In Eastern Europe back in 2023, the Czech Republic halted arms going to Zelensky, saying that their coffers were dry and for Ukraine not to expect anything soon.
Yeah.
Started there. In 2024, Poland similarly stopped sending arms and cash as it said it had hit a wall, as they put it.
Yes.
I understand that Poland did help out until recently when Zelensky hailed a Nazi war criminal when his body was eventually repatriated back to Ukraine and was given a state funeral. And a Ukrainian battalion was renamed by a Nazi name just a couple of weeks ago. So that was sort of like the abrupt end of help from Poland.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday in the EU Parliament, Polish MEP Eva Zazakowska ripped up a Nazi flag of the regiment, and the general consensus in the Parliament was to condemn what Zelensky had done. So the EU Parliament is also against what Zelensky doing. In 2025, Donald Trump stopped the excessive transfer of weapons and cash to Zelensky, with Trump declaring that the war was not of any of his doing. He said, "It's not my war." He put the onus squarely on your shoulders and taking the opportunity to criticize the Europeans of their lack of contributions to the very organization they belong to, NATO. Trump, being a businessman, created what is called PEARL, Prioritized Ukraine Requirements List, where Zelensky could make a wish list and Europe would purchase the arms from the US. So, the US would only sell the arms.
Yes.
On Tuesday, on the first day of the NATO get-together, the Dutch Defence Minister Jezilgov Zegarius called it a day.
Mm-hmm. The
Netherlands had a deal with Belgium, Denmark, and Norway to supply arms to Ukraine and aircraft and things like that. The defence minister said, "We don't have opportunities anymore because we have done so much." She added, "We are at our limit." Now, last week, the FAZ newspaper coming out of Germany said that Italy next year will block the Pearl scheme for 2027, which means if NATO needs unanimous vote results, that will grind to a halt also. Because it's the nations through NATO that are buying the arms from Trump.
Yeah.
Right. Which is probably why Trump and Rutte are walking hand in hand into the sunset. Very chummy with each other.
Yes.
And the latest to get out while they can is Bulgaria. Yesterday, Wednesday, Bulgarian, on the second day of the NATO summit, Bulgarian Prime Minister Roman Radev, thank goodness somebody's got a name I can pronounce, he said that his nation is no longer able to provide any more weapons nor military equipment for Kiev. However, he did say at the NATO conference that they would supply Ukraine financially so long as it did not affect social spending in Bulgaria.
Yeah.
Well, any money going abroad will affect social spending internally. So I imagine there's not going to be a lot of money flying in Zelensky's way.
Yes.
I'm imagining it will not be long before Belgium, Denmark, and Norway will follow the same way as the Netherlands, because they had this 4-group deal.
Yeah.
Right. Netherlands has jumped out, so it's going to put more pressure on the 3.
Yes.
So will they be able to take up the slack? Other European nations will realise that extra burden will be put on their shoulders too. And I'm sure that a domino effect will take place, leaving the three main European protagonists, France, Germany, and the floundering UK, to sort things out, or not, as the case may very well be.
Okay. Right. Okay. Yes. Yes. When you put it like that, it sounds like a complete mess.
But to me, it just sounds like people are getting fed up.
Mm.
Germany knows where they are. The UK, Starmer offering 14 billion of a 27 billion ask.
Yeah.
How can it justify sending arms across to Ukraine? You know,
Well, this is it. It's not. They can promise what they want to Ukraine. Delivering might be a different matter. Yes, I mean, it does seem they're desperate to have some sort of conflict there to push attention elsewhere, and that's what I think it's all about. But yeah, I think very, very slowly you're going to see the support or sympathy for Zelensky there, or if not Ukraine, waning. And sooner or later, they have to get around the table. Russia and Ukraine and others are going to have to get around the table and talk peace terms. It does appear that, I hate to say it, Russia have the upper hand in all this, really.
yeah.
And they're probably going to get their objective of Donbass and the Crimea. They're not interested in the rest of Ukraine at all. Only their who they perceive as their people in those regions who speak Russian, basically. I mean, whether or not they are Russian or think Russian, you'd have to ask them on the ground what they believe. I mean, it's just not there. There are Russian-speaking Ukrainians right across Ukraine. It's one country.
But the thing is, the Russian language in in Western Ukraine has been banned.
Yeah.
So they aren't teaching it in school anymore, just
Mm.
Ukrainian.
Well, yeah, but they'll speak it at home, and I mean, to say banned, unless you're going to be prosecuted if you speak it at home, they're like,
it has to be behind closed doors. So.
yeah, be like us with our households. We're in Brazil speaking English. Yeah, that's not quite the same.
Yeah, but the difference is English here isn't banned.
No, it's actively encouraged. Yeah,
there is denying fist ruling us.
yes, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah. My whole existence here depends on it not being banned. Being encouraged, if not everything else.
yeah.
Yes, I think you're right. I mean, I think I think people are beginning to wake up. It's lasted a bit more than a couple of months. The Russian special operation, it's never been declared a war. It's always been a special operation. It's still continuing in Ukraine. Admittedly, Kiev is being hit by weapons now, probably to focus minds, and obviously, it's a war of attrition to drive the population to want to sue for peace.
Now,
Yeah,
look, to be honest, to be fair, there were only military targets
but
struck. It's important to note that.
yeah,
Ukraine sent a couple of drones that hit another bus
yeah.
the other day full of civilians.
Mm.
So
yeah, I mean, none of it is right. None of it is fair, really. Now it's hitting civilians on both sides. Innocents, maybe people that don't want to be involved in a war. I can't think anyone that would want to be. But yes, I think across the rest of Western Europe, the appetite to continue supporting Ukraine, you could say, is waning at best. Even amongst Eastern Europeans who probably don't feel that threatened by Russia. would probably like to have a go at Russia for various different reasons, for history, historical reasons. But yeah, I'm not that interested in fighting the Ukrainian war when the
Look,
Ukrainians are, yeah, not quite
some
under.
countries,
Yeah.
some countries can't stop this conflict between Ukraine and Russia
Mm.
simply because they've invested so much
Yeah.
money into the project
Mm.
that if they stopped,
Yeah.
if Zelensky tomorrow stopped and said, "Right, we're not going to fight anymore,"
Yeah.
then the Germanys, the Frances, the UKs who've invested in all that money,
Yeah.
their political leaders are going to look chumps
Yeah.
because they'll have spent billions and billions and billions of euros and pounds
Yeah.
on something that just didn't give a result.
Well,
So
that's what.
they
Yeah.
can't. Politically, they can't.
Well.
You can wait for another leader to be elected,
Yeah.
which probably will. I
Mm.
think Merz is going to be ousted. I
Mm.
think Macron's going to be ousted, and for sure, Keir Starmer is being replaced
But
because
replaced by what? Yeah.
so you know
It's going to happen.
I think that's when it's going to happen.
Yeah. Good luck, Ukrainians. Yeah. But yeah, it's not looking good for Zelensky. Definitely the focus on it. And
Zelensky, he should be looking on a map,
yeah.
find on a mapper Monday to
Yeah.
find where he can go, where nobody can find him. And they even found Osama bin Laden
Yeah.
eventually.
Yes.
So
Well, yeah, slightly different circumstances. The safest place for him probably go would be Russia because he'd be probably kept there because it'd be a good prize for them
I
in the
think he
future.
might pop down here to Brazil or to Argentina.
Mm. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yes, mind you, Argentina might not be such a good place to be at the moment now that they're
One of the apartments in our blocks become vacant, so
yeah. We
you
got a
never
couple of
know.
yeah. You want him as a neighbour?
No, no, I don't. But I'm saying,
Yeah, yeah. There's
there's a
plenty of
possibility.